Alright, well hello and welcome to this first video in a very long series of update videos I'm going to be doing documenting the progress on a 6x10 foot HO gauge train layout. The name of the train layout is going to be J&L Junction, which is, it's named after my future wife and I. And what you're looking at is AnyRail's version of the track plan and the elevation. So AnyRail does a pretty good job with this. It's not exactly the way it's going to look, but it's pretty close. Let me give you a little bit of a backstory on this. I was raised in Beaver Falls, PA, and just outside of Beaver Falls, there's a little borough called Homewood. And in Homewood, there's this cool looking Y junction. It doesn't look exactly like this. It's a good bit bigger and longer, but it has pretty much this same shape, same concept. Now, for those of you who have been in the hobby for a while, you will immediately notice this is going to be no small feat. It's going to be quite the challenge doing this, even though it's just a 6x10 layout. I want a challenge. I don't want anything easy. And I think I've gotten that with this track plan, because not only do I have this Y here, but I also have two overlapping reverse loops. So that's going to be fun to wire up. I have wondered if this is even possible. If it's not possible, let me know now before I go any further with this. But I thought if I could actually get something like this working, it's going to be pretty cool. Now, this is going to be no quick project. This is going to take several years. Pretty much what my plan is, if my future wife, depending on what she thinks, I would eventually like to be able to work on this layout with my future kid or kids someday. I think it'd be a great bonding experience. I think that model railroading should be a family affair. It should bring the family together. And so this thing is going to take many years. It's probably going to be the only layout I ever build, just because it's going to be so time consuming and so expensive. So yeah, primarily in this video I just wanted to show you my track plan and what I'm thinking for elevations, contours, and I also want to show you my scenery plan. If I go back to my 2D design view, maybe, there we go. Now, what you'll see here is I have roads, driveways. I've marked off the various sections where I want scenery changes. I've put in trees. Essentially, all of this is actually here in the real world. Now, it's not going to be exactly the way it is. I sort of want it to be my own world of some sort. But it's pretty close. I have another road down here, and there's a church here, which is actually there, and there's a park here. And one of the coolest features of the scenery is going to be this falls here called Buttermilk Falls, which is actually there as well. So that's going to be really nice. I'm a big fan of the outdoors. I love going backpacking, hiking, camping. I've backpacked sections of the Appalachian Trail, and it's beautiful. I have lots of trees here. Yeah, so this is the plan. Obviously, it's not going to be, abrupt scenery changes. It's going to be blended in. I just wanted to try to figure out which sections I wanted to have what scenery and where I wanted it. But yeah, this is the plan. I'd really appreciate your feedback on this. I'm really looking forward to starting this. However, the thing that I'm probably looking forward to the most, and you've probably never heard any model railroader say this, is the wiring. I I love wiring. It's part of my day job, and it's what I love the most about my day job. And I'm really looking forward to that and getting all the electronics set up and figured out. So why don't I show you, well, first of all, I'm completely skipping over one of the main features of this layout, and that's this highway here. This is the PA Turnpike, and this is actually kind of how it goes in the real world. It's slanted down through the Y right here, and there's going to be several bridges, as you can see, that cross over the turnpike. So, and this is going to be the lowest point of the layout. This is going to be the highest point. So the turnpike is going to be on a slant going downhill. So it's going to be quite the challenge with the elevation changes. But anyways, let me go on to the fun stuff, the electronics, and I'll show you which DCC system I plan on using. Now, originally I was going to go with strictly Digitrax, and Digitrax is awesome. The functionality of it is terrific with LocoNet, computer control, all that good stuff, automation. However, the problem with Digitrax is it looks like it's from out of the 80s. I don't quite understand why Digitrax won't update the look and feel of the throttle and the booster and all that. I don't know. It was kind of a deal breaker for me eventually. I came across this other DCC system that has a more modern look to it. It's called Easy DCC, and I will show that to you now. Okay, this is the Easy DCC system from CVP Products, and I stumbled across this system on another YouTube channel, and I was really impressed by it. It is a panel mount system, which I thought was pretty cool because I could just slide this command station into my control panel. And it looks like it's from the 21st century, which is a big plus. So the cool thing about this is it's very expandable. It has wireless capabilities. The throttles look pretty cool, pretty nice. And what you do is you have your main booster here, and you can connect that main booster to a device called Zone Share. And what Zone Share does is it splits up that power input from that booster into up to 4 independent outputs to your track. So you can have up to 4 power districts, and the first one has auto reversing. So that's pretty cool. Now let me show you the first wiring diagram that I did several months ago. It's the diagram for the track power bus and block detection. So let me bring that up here. Okay, here you have it. This is the crazy wiring schematic that I did. And as you can see, back when I did this, I used strictly Digitrax components. I had the Zephyr up here, which is the all-in-one throttle booster from Digitrax. And I had that going into the PM42s. And as you can see, I have 4 PM42s that are completely used up on a 6x10 layout. I know, it's completely ridiculous. What I was originally planning was I would have each piece of track electrically isolated so that I could easily find a short if I had one. But I don't think this is actually necessary to have this many power blocks. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out these PM42s and replace them with that zone share device that I just showed you. So that's that, and as I said, the zone share device has an auto reverser built into it, so I don't need this AR1 anymore. Now, let me just say something about this auto reversing. As I was figuring this out, the interesting thing about it is despite the complexity of the Y and the overlapping reverse loops, the only problematic section that I have is this one right here where red meets black. So this is one of the legs of the Y right here. So out of the whole layout, this is the only section that would need auto reversing. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it's not going to be as complicated as I originally thought. Let me know. I would be happy to consider your comments on that. If you have any suggestions on if I should even go about using the auto reverser in that booster, or if I should have an independent auto reverser board like the AR1 or the DCC Specialties PSX AR or something like that. So that's that. But as of now, the only component that I'm actually going to keep from this wiring schematic is the DS64. I'd like to have automated turnouts, and the DS64 is the only stationary decoder that I've actually seen demonstrated on YouTube to automate turnouts with block detection. So I'm going to hold on to that. The BD4s here are going to be replaced by the Digitrax BDL168. So I'm still going to have some Digitrax. I'd like to use LocoNet because I'd like to have computer control on this layout. So there's going to be some automation, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and I'm really looking forward to figuring all that out. I've seen it done, and it looks pretty cool. So yeah, other than that, as far as the power bus goes, I don't know if it's going to be exactly like this. I'm working on a new wiring diagram with the power bus that is probably going to be a little bit different from how I have it here. But I'm going to use red and black, and yeah, I'd like to do everything in 90-degree angles with the wiring under the layout. I think it'll just look neater, it'll be more orderly, more organized, and it'll be easier to tell where everything is going and what everything is. I'm going to have it all labeled. It's going to be nice and neat. And again, I'm really looking forward to doing that. So I think that's it for this diagram. I have one other one that for the turnout control and the control panel wiring. So why don't I show that to you now and stop rambling. Alright, so this is the second monstrosity of a wiring schematic that I did several months ago. It's the wiring for the turnouts, control of the turnouts, and the control panel. And as you'll notice again, I wanted to use Digitrax back then, so I have the Zephyr again, and 2 more PM42s. I mean, I know, I was insane back then, and maybe I'm still insane, let me know. But a lot of this is still the same. The wiring for the control panel, I have the DS64s that I want to keep. I'd like to use the Tortoise switch machines, and I have the wiring here, how I think they would need to be wired. I think it's just standard Tortoise wiring. I'm going to have all Electro Frog points, so that should be fun to wire up. But the main feature of this layout, one of the main features that is in this wiring diagram, is these 2 toggle switches here, which I think I may combine into one. But what this does is it gives the operator the choice of either choosing to have turnout control via DS64 in the computer, or turnout control via the control panel manually. And I just wanted to have those 2 options. I didn't want just one or the other because I wanted to make it more fun, more interesting. If it was all just computer control, everything was automated, I don't know, I think it would just get boring after a while, just because you're not even really getting to run your trains. It's a computer that's running your trains. So why not also have the option of manually controlling pretty much everything on the control panel? So that's what this is all about. I have double pull, double throw switches here. Each turnout has a power supply. That's this circle here. And there's also an auxiliary single pull, single throw switch on each turnout, and that essentially enables control of its respective turnout. I may or may not include that. What I could do is just combine them all into one key switch to enable control of all of the turnouts at one time. So that's my idea there. I have LEDs here, a set for each Tortoise. So there's 4 that I was able to squeeze in up here in the diagram. That's these 4. And what you'll notice is all the wiring from the control panel comes down into this terminal block right here. And that is for the purpose of splitting the wiring up with the DS64 for the purpose that I just explained. So, yeah, that's that. I have 2 more tortoises down here that will be controlled by a second DS64, and again I have these toggle switches that will be combined into one that will give the operator the option of either control via computer or control via the control panel. So that's that. I have the LEDs again, the double pull, double throw switches here. And this is how I think it would all need to be wired up. Let me know if anything you see is incorrect. I've done a lot of research on it, but I could very well be mistaken in pretty much all of this. I don't actually know if any of this is going to work in reality. We'll see. But right now it's theoretical. It's on paper. It should work. I've put a lot of thought into this. Everything should work as I have it, but we'll see. I'd love your feedback on it, your comments. Let me know if I'm insane, again, if this is even possible. And we'll go from there. The next video, in the next video, I'm actually working on a complete wiring diagram of everything with the Easy DCC system. And I think it's going to be a little bit less complicated than this, because I'd like to be able to have it all on one piece of paper. And so I will finish that, and I'll put it in the next video and explain everything that I'd like to do. But for now, thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video and for listening to my rambling. So thank you again, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.